What's going on YouTube? It's Pelfrey again for another weekly update. It's hard to believe it's been a week already, but an interesting piece here. I came across the MP10 QD quiet drive online, and basically the guy had it on a tank. The tank had cracked, and he said, if you come get the pump, you can have everything that I have. I got a really good deal on this. It was very, very hard to pass up. This is something that I definitely don't need since I'm upgrading tanks, but it was almost a scenario where I couldn't pass it up. So I've actually already taken my Vortech MP10 off of my tank, and the quiet drive is on there. So I'm very excited. I did soak the wet side in vinegar, and I took it apart and I cleaned it real well. So he gave me a bag of salt, he gave me a bag of sand, he gave me a couple pieces of rock. The sand I actually took to my local fish store, and they gave me some credit for it, or excuse me, the salt, because I won't use that salt. I've never used any of these chemicals here, but he gave them to me. He had them in a box, and he said, you can have them, I don't need them. He gave me a hydrometer, never used one, and I do use this fish food with my current fish. So thumbs up there. Like I said, I got a really good deal on it, so I really couldn't pass it up. So since now I've traded in a bag of salt and I have store credit, I might as well pick up something. So they had my local fish store had just got a fresh shipment of saltwater fish in, and so I picked up this Orchid Dottyback. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I got the smallest out of the four, and kind of a crazy story, because whenever I brought him home and I put him in the tank, he went straight into the overflow box. And the way that my overflow box is set up is, it's impossible to get inside of there. It is absolutely impossible to get out of there. So what I did was, I'm running a Herbie drain. Shout out to 915 Mang for giving me this helpful advice. Tightened the valve to raise the water level, and after a few days, the Dottyback actually came out and enjoyed the fish tank like everybody else did. So here's my daughter. I'm actually floating the fish there, so I'm kind of reversing the video or whatever, but my daughter looking at the tank, and she loves to watch it. So, you know, we like to put her in front of it, and she just gets a thrill out of it, and hopefully for many years to come, she'll enjoy watching it. If you're on the fence about any of the Vortech pumps, definitely get one. They're well worth it. I'm gonna stress though, to get a quiet drive. This is in between my kitchen and my living room, and the sound difference from the quiet drive versus the non-QD is absolutely amazing. I did capture both the sounds. It's important for me to stress that the pump at this point is running at 100%, and I never run them at 100%. I did run the QD at 100% only by mistake because I couldn't hear it. And at this point, I've turned it down to about 40 or 50%, which was normal operating range for me whenever I ran this pump. And here's the quiet drive running at 100%, and you can automatically tell the sound difference. I mean, it is absolutely amazing, the sound difference. So as you can see here, I got some lights in. These are the Ocean Revive T247s. These are not the new version, the B models, but I got a really good deal on these. They're used, and I've preached this before, where I buy a lot of used equipment, but I save a lot of money. I wanted to really go Kessil, but I really can't afford to go Kessil at this point, so I might think about that later down the road. You know, I bought two of these lights shipped for less than half the price of one Kessil 360. So a lot of people have had great success out of these lights, and I'm still on the fence whether I'm going to go a 4x2x2 120 or a 5x2x2 150. And if in fact I do go a 5-foot tank, I can still pick up another one of these for a fraction of the cost. I did a video on the Badfish all-in-one kit some months ago, but I finally did silicone it into the 20 long, and I'm trying to work out how I'm going to do my return plumbing. The reason that I'm actually doing this is because I'm going to move everything from my cube into this tank. This tank I'm going to keep. I'm not going to get rid of this tank, but I need to really tear the cube down and start parting it out in order to fund the new project. There's a lot of equipment on the cube that I can simply use or simply sell and use that money towards the new build. Over the weekend I did pick up some lumber and started to build a stand for the tank, and really I got in too big of a hurry, and my cuts were right, but I got in too big of a hurry. I ended up running out of daylight, and I really wanted to get it done, and I should have just slowed down and just walked away from it. I ended up gluing some pieces, and I should have just screwed them in instead of gluing them. So all in all, I wasted about $20 buying the lumber. I wasted about an hour, hour and a half cutting it and screwing it and then gluing it. So I had to tear this thing down and scrap it. I mean, it's really no good to me since I glued most of it, and it ended up being super uneven. So I'm really on the fence about what I'm going to do for a stand, because I'd really like to have a stand that looks nice. If my daughter is in fact interested in fish tanks, this 20-gallon all-in-one tank would be perfect for her. So I want to do a good stand that will last a long time. Alright, while we're reviewing a stand that I'm not even going to use, I did want to include it because, you know, I make mistakes, not everything's perfect, and I wanted to show everybody that, you know, not everything that I do is going to be in any way, shape, or form perfect, and it's not always going to work out. But the music that you've heard on this video I created with GarageBand, and I'll do a video on it because it's really a pain because you can't import it from GarageBand into iMovie. But anyway, I'll teach you guys how to do this if it's something you're interested in. But be sure to stay tuned and like, comment, and subscribe.